Hey Virgo, this is Michael with your October 2020 reading. I saved the best for last. It's nothing personal, Virgo. I actually let you go first last month because it was your birthday month and it was Libra's turn, and I just went in order from there. Just how I do things. So I hope none of you are offended or have been waiting too long for me. I am curious to see what we have in store for us. I am a Virgo myself. Sometimes I resonate with my own readings, sometimes I don't. It's not really about me, it's about all of you, but I think we are all kind of moving through things together. So let's see, what is the energy we have for the first half of October? Astrologically, it's a very interesting month, in case you haven't been able to tell by now. Our ruling planet Mercury is actually going direct towards the middle of the month. This is happening on October 14th in our third house in the sign of Scorpio, and this really rules over our mind and our communication. And it feels like I've just been stumbling over my words, like my brain is going faster than my mouth, so I apologize if I'm having a hard time getting these concepts out there. They are in my brain, it's just getting them into words that has been the challenge today. And so this could really be affecting our communication. And miscommunication is always a huge thing when Mercury goes retrograde, and misunderstandings, and with Mars being retrograde, it can really blow up into some nasty conflicts. So really be patient with yourself and with others. We have a lot going on this month. We started off with a full moon in Aries. We are ending off with a full moon in Taurus on October 31st, right on Halloween. So a lot of endings and closings of cycles this month. We also have Pluto that is going direct, as well as Saturn that just went direct in the sign of Capricorn. And we are really finishing up some karmic cycles, and Libra is all about karma and justice and rebalancing. So again, there's a lot of things that are shifting. The scales are going up and down, trying to find the balance right now, and that's just a great way to think of October. Balance isn't necessarily stillness or stagnancy, it's often a homeostasis, and some things will go up, other things will go down, until you find that sweet spot. So that's sort of what October feels like, and it's making a lot of people anxious. We have the Two of Wands for you showing up kind of in your daily life, and you might be thinking about the thinking about the future, trying to move forward in your life. You may have made a decision, or you're in the process of making a decision. You do have the King of Swords in the reverse. This could be an air sign that you're communicating with, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. There we go. And this person could be very closed off with you. And again, the Page of Swords in reverse with the Six of Cups. It's like someone you have a history with is not communicating or not cooperating with you. And it doesn't feel like you're cutting this person out or anything, but it's almost like you're trying to figure out how to go forward yourself. You stop trying to incorporate other people into your plans or whatever it is that you're trying to do, or if there's a relationship in your life, you might just be focusing on other things in general in the first half of October. And that makes sense because when we're looking at Libra, we're looking at money, we're looking at assets, we're looking at values. And it's almost like those are more of your concerns. You might be trying to move forward or make a decision in your life, and you're having a hard time having a conversation with someone, either making plans with them or opening up emotionally. And I do feel like for some of you, there could be a person from the past who's reaching out to you, or you're reaching out to them, especially if they are an air sign individual. That is coming up pretty clearly. And it's like they reach out, it's like someone attempts to communicate, but it's almost like talking around the issues, okay? You don't really get to the heart of things. And you're kind of left wondering, like, what do I do with this? Where do I go with this? It could just be someone in your life already, but I do get that past connection for some reason. And you are trying to move forward. It's like, as you're trying to move forward, the past is like sort of coming back in, or maybe you're just thinking about it. It might not even be an actual person or situation. You're just reflecting a lot. I do want to clarify this Two of Wands, actually. What is this Two of Wands signifying for Virgo? Temperance. It's like finding the right balance, finding the right time to move forward. And if this is talking about a relationship or some sort of conversation that you're trying to have, it's like you're kind of strategizing how to go forward or how to address something with someone. Could be a Sagittarius individual with this Temperance card energy. Doesn't have to be, though. You might also be making plans for something that is happening in Sagittarius season. So we're looking at the end of November to the end of December of this year. And you might be making plans for that time. There might be something that's on your radar that's supposed to happen. Or you might be moving forward between now and then. But it's interesting. It's like there's a disconnect between your head and your heart. And it's almost like, Virgo, I feel like you're in this situation a lot where you might be approaching people trying to have a heartfelt conversation. Like, you've kind of psyched yourself up, right? Like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to bring this up, I'm going to tell this person how I feel, or I'm going to address this thing that keeps happening. And it's like you finally go to do that, and you don't end up talking about it. That's almost what this feels like to me. And I'm even seeing this Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck here, and it's like, kind of in limbo. Like half in, half out. That's so interesting that that's right there. And you might be gaining more information or trying to look at things from other perspectives. And maybe that's why this Temperance card is coming up. You're not feeling quite so confident to move forward just yet, or to make your move just yet. And this could also be talking about a work situation, or maybe a move, some sort of situation like that. It doesn't have to be a relationship. But again, it feels like you are communicating with somebody about it, if that's making sense. And maybe it's hard to communicate because you're still trying to figure out what the right course is for you, or how to go forward in your life, or with this person. So let's pull some animal wisdom for Virgos for the first half of October. Ooh. And you know, again, Scorpio is your third house. It is kind of like your traditionally this represented your neighborhood or your village, or like the community spaces that you're a part of. So this could be involving individuals in your community as well, or kind of people who are loosely in your circle, right? So interestingly, we do have Buffalo and Zebra coming out together. These were actually two cards that came out for Leo in their reading. So if you have Leo placements, maybe these are kind of indicating for you to look at that video as well. But with this Buffalo and Zebra energy together, again, you're looking forward, you're getting out of this black and white way of thinking. Some of you may actually be planning a move, and it's like, it's out of your element. It's out of, it's not your usual situation. It's different than what you're used to somehow with Zebra. And I would even say that this could be a very far move, you know, geographically. It could be quite some distance from where you are. I would even wonder if this is you perhaps going back somewhere you've been before. Or maybe you're visiting someone. Maybe you're visiting family or planning a visit. And things feel uncertain right now, which makes a lot of sense. But But I almost wonder, it's like, are you moving back home or something like that? Or thinking about traveling somewhere? With this Buffalo energy, it's really important for you to be spiritually grounded and connected at the same exact time. Because when I look at Buffalo, I see this animal that's very connected to the earth. It has these very heavy hooves. It's very weighted down and grounded. But it also has these horns which are pointing up to the sky, to the divine. And it's very spiritually connected as well. And it just has faith. And Virgo, some of you with this sword energy, the King of Swords and the Page of Swords, you usually like to go about things in ways that are very clear. You like to have a very clear plan, and that just might not be a luxury that you have right now. And you're sort of being asked to move forward without necessarily having all the details pinned down, and that can feel really stressful, especially when we're dealing with like Mercury retrograde. That could seem really scary. And we do have a new moon. We do have a new moon in Libra on the 16th. And that is a good time to manifest some abundance, actually. You might be changing jobs or going to a more stable situation in your life. But again, the full moon in Taurus at the end of the month, that is your 9th house, your horizons, your travel. You really might be preparing to travel or something, or thinking about it. Let's look at the second half of October. I keep getting there. Let's pull some cards. Let's kind of clarify where all of this is going, how all of this is developing. It feels like you're a little stuck in your head and you're trying to move forward. Or someone is stuck in their head. Interesting. What is happening here? You could be dealing with an Aries. We do have a Tower card on the table. No one panic, but it's there. And the Emperor. So again, a lot of Mars energy. This does make me think this could be relating to an Aries and having some conflict with the Seven of Wands, feeling like you need to defend yourself. It's almost like you feel like you're left fending for yourself at the end of October. Or maybe you feel like people are turning against you. That's interesting. Someone's been very controlling with the Emperor. And it's almost like you were trying to have a conversation with somebody or plan something with somebody, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, when you sort of counted them out, it's like something blows up. Because this Tower is actually showing up in your emotions, I hate to say. And I'm noticing the Seven of Swords here as well. At the bottom of the deck, so something unexpected. And it makes you feel like you're fending for yourself, or you have to defend yourself, you might be feeling guarded. Let's clarify this Tower. Why is the Tower here? Ooh, the Star. You are being thrown out of your comfort zone in a really big way. And it's almost like, Virgo, you've been trying to be very strategic with something, you've been trying to take your time, something blows up, but what I love about this combination is in the order, the numerological order, the Star does come right after the Tower. The Tower is the 16th major arcana, and the Star is the 17th. And this sort of represents in the journey where the Tower is something falling apart. It's something coming down, and it feels very uncomfortable. It's a very prominent end, and sometimes it feels sudden with this bolt of lightning, right? And it kind of blows open your mind with this crown flying off you here. But then you have the Star. And the Star is like the hope. The healing after the Tower. There's a lot of healing that's coming, actually, but it's almost like Virgo, it's like you're addressing something very head on, or someone is coming at you very head on. by the end of the month. And it might feel like things are coming down and falling apart, but actually, I think it needs to happen, and it might actually break open the thing that you've been trying to cultivate anyway. You were trying to go slow and steady with this temperance energy, and then something blows up, or something just feels really destabilizing. And this tower has been showing up a lot. You know, again, there's a lot happening astrologically this month, where there's going to be a lot of moments like this, where it feels like things are falling apart or coming to an end. But it's bringing about healing at the same time, and a real balance. Let's pull some animal cards. Let's get some more wisdom here, maybe some advice. What is the advice for Virgo for this energy? Golden egg, the heart chakra. It's almost like your heart is being broken open. And that scares you, Virgo. But it's actually a very beautiful thing. And that's interesting that it came across as the tower, because usually the tower, it's like you see it and you clench up, right? But actually what this is really starting to feel more like is your heart is opening up in a big way. Walls are coming down, and it's allowing healing to come. I feel like there's going to be a really big cry. Like something is going to be addressed really head on. It might even come off as a conflict or a fight at first, and then someone just breaks down and has, you know, this really big emotional release. And honestly, Virgo, kind of feels like you. Could be involving an Aries energy for sure. Also Scorpio. I do see Aquarius energy here as well with the star. And it's like, it feels really scary for you to let your walls down. But there's actually a lot of power here. And it takes a lot of strength and a lot of will and fortitude to really allow yourself to be vulnerable. And this heart chakra, it's you know, with this crown being blown off the tower here, that's now set ablaze, it's like you're getting out of the head, you're getting out of the ego, you've been blown out of it. It's almost like ego death, and you're really connecting to your heart. And when you do that, when you're present with yourself, when you open your heart for the first time, if it's been closed down for a while, that can really bring up a lot of intense emotions. But afterwards, there's this sort of relief, this healing that happens. And again, Virgo, I think this is really, really good and necessary and actually quite positive. I know the tower isn't a fun card. I know a lot of people freak out when they see it. I was even a bit like, Virgo, what's going on? But I do feel like you built walls around yourself, and you've kind of kept yourself distant from other people. It's interesting because earlier in the reading we were talking about someone who might have been closed off to you. You might actually be seeing the ways that you were closed off to someone else. And maybe you're actually this King of Swords or Page of Swords in the reverse. You've been the one who hasn't really been very open. And you're actually the one who's supposed to have this emotional conversation. It needs to happen. We were talking about this at the beginning of the reading. There is a big revelation that happens, but it actually brings a lot of healing. You might be exposing something really, really big about yourself, or someone might be doing that for you, and it's almost like it starts off as a conflict, but you end up much closer together as a result of it. That's at least what I'm getting. Obviously, this is a general reading, so trust your own intuition and discernment, but really, don't be afraid to let your walls down a little bit. It might be uncomfortable, but I think there's a lot of growth and healing that can come from that this month, especially with this Mercury retrograde. You might be visiting things from the past and bringing up old hurts and letting that go, releasing that. And those are all the messages I have for you this month, Virgo. I hope that this was helpful for you. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. If you'd like to book a personal reading or Reiki session, I have links down below to my website as well as all my other information. There's everything down below there. If you have questions, like what decks I'm using, all of that is in the description box. And if you'd like to look at some of the other videos for your moon, rising, or Venus signs, you can look at the playlist on my YouTube channel and check those out as well. There might be a message for you there too. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a happy October, Virgo. Take care.